welcome to a new Wepa show. It's another Saturday night with your favorite Puerto Rican and Australian. Wepa, para que tú sepas que estamos, la verdad, right through, coming through with my buddy homeboy Ozzy from the Oz crew. Woo.
Gracias, amigo.
¿Qué pasó? I'm energized. I'm off work. You know, it's a good time. I'm chilling. You know, it's a good week.
Absolutely. Likewise here on a Sunday. It's nice and cold, so I'm still wearing my warmies. But
your warmies.
Yeah, it's a lovely day ahead. It's nice and sunny, even though it is pretty cold out here. But man, the Lakers got bumped, so now I think that your Brooklyn Nets are the front runner to be winning the championship this year. So, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, man. That's it. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. And just for the viewers out there who don't know who we are, just introduce yourself, bro.
Man, I'm the one and only Almega. Wepa, para que tú sepas, CEO.
And I am Dodgy, the wonder from Down Under, in the mix. And thank you for joining us on the Wepa show, the show about nothing.
Wait a minute. Who said you were the wonder from Down Under? Is that a nickname your ladies gave you?
No, I think Bud actually gave that to me way back when I was co-hosting the No Prize podcast, which is a Marvel podcast from Undercover Capes.
Yeah, but kickass one where Lucas and the professor going at it every other Tuesday. Every 2 weeks, you get 2 weeks with Marvel. Either love or disappointment.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean,
they're honest.
Very hit and miss. Very hit and miss, but very honest. I love it.
That's what I'm saying, but that's the whole point. You got to be honest with the fans. You know, it's up to them. Shout out to Reno Noir.
Hey, Six Element.
He's celebrating as well yesterday, believe it. So, you know, have many more, my brother. Many more.
All right. So, but definitely worth a check out if you do want to see the honesty in Marvel Comics, because as we all know, very hit and miss. Like, really disliking the Avengers at the moment. I mean, they started off pretty well, but I don't know, man. I just don't feel it. Not feeling it like I was when I was reading about 2 years ago, when our Ewing was on the was helping out, like, and Mark Waid. Currently, not a massive fan. Not a massive fan. Anything you're reading at the moment, bro?
Reading.
Everything?
I haven't had any opportunities at all to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
You know what? I'm reading actually this because, right now I'm using the new mic that I had won thanks to Streamline Podcast. So easy way to start a podcast. I already started a podcast, but nonetheless, there's actually a lot of little great ideas that I haven't thought of yet within this. Because again, this is a journey. You learn something new every day, right? So, reading this book is, I'm learning a couple of new tricks to help expand every show on our network. From both Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. And get it popping. This is what we got to do here, kiddo.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's good. That's good. You want to sharpen your craft. Yeah. Good on you, man. That's really, really good, man.
Headphones too. Buy them. I
saw earlier in the week you put a post up on Twitter. Like, that's amazing, bro. Oh, yeah. So jealous. Yeah, that's sexy looking mic you got there, and mic stand.
And I got it on a cloud lifter, which improves the gain on the mic by about 25. So it just it's gravy. It's gravy. And yes, Al. Oh my God, I'm so bad. I'm
talking about yourself in the third person, eh?
Yes. Yeah, yes, a Sixth Element. I am off tomorrow, so make sure to hit me up. And also, please hit up Plep on the PCNN chat. I think he has a very big prize for you.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's convention season, Dodgy. Things are starting to pop off here in the States, and I'm happy.
Well, I've got a convention I'm attending on the 19th, so I'll be pretty pumped to.
You better
that. Yeah, man, I can't wait. But speaking of something I can't wait, let's jump into the news because we got some pretty cool stuff to cover. Love the intensity of that music. In the first slide, we've mentioned there's a mention of a new movie coming out, and I don't want to share with you all the trailer, but
let's put up the slide real quick, right? The beginning of this wonderful slideshow that Dodgy puts together every week, 17 consecutive weeks. All right. So he's bought those. This is what we're talking about right here.
That's the one, man. That's the one.
Really? All right. So let's check it out, folks, and see what Dodgy's all raving about right now.
What do I know that you need so bad?
That's why you're here. To find out.
You're not crazy. You never have been. Do you find yourself drawn to places you've never been?
The visions you've had your entire life aren't hallucinations. They're memories.
You're talking about reincarnation.
The legend never die, you get reborn.
We call ourselves the Infinite. We remember skills from all our past lives. It takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. How good would you be after 1,000,000 hours?
Pretty damn good. What do I know that you need so bad?
That's why you're here. To find out.
We have fought one another for centuries. But you can't stop what's coming. The end of all things.
Is he blocked?
Well. We're gonna have to reset your memory.
You gonna drown me? I got a thing about drowning.
Which is...
I don't like it.
You know what, man? I like you this time around.
Shut up and turn it on.
That's perfectly normal.
Kill them all.
There's still time. Time. No more time.
Leave the faith on.
Did you see that? The legend never die, you get reborn. There ain't no holding me back.
That does look insanely fucking fire.
I gotta say, you take my money.
That looks so fire. But you know what also reminds me of? Based on the story, right? He keeps getting reincarnated, and this dude has been fighting for thousands of years, right? This makes me think of Hawkman versus Vandal Savage type shit.
No?
Yeah,
true. Because they keep being reincarnated. But bro, that looks so good, man. And it's directed by Antoine Fuqua. If you guys don't know who he is, look at Training Day. I just watched it on on Friday night, man, and I hadn't seen it for more than 10 years. But I just remember the first time I saw it in the cinema, and I was like, mind blown, man. And I just watched it on Friday, and I still thought it was fucking fantastic. Still gave me chills too, man. That movie was just off the charts. So I hope I get something like this with this movie here, and coming out on my birthday, June 10th. So woo! Yeah. So that's pretty amazing, man. So thanks, bro. Appreciate it. But nah, I can't wait till this comes out, man. I was looking at movies to put on, but I thought this one was just the one that had the trailer. Yeah, it looks amazing. So I can't wait. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Whoa!
This is fire.
Coming soon.
They've been talking about it, but now we actually got to see. I mean, I couldn't find a clip worthy enough for me to be able to share. Because
No, there isn't. There isn't. This is it. This is all we get.
A little piece of the world that as it ends and women just looking around like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You a little kind of tease, but I read this whole run thanks to Han, my homeboy from More Pound. Yeah, it got me. He actually had this on a graphic novel format, and he said, "Al, you got to read this run." So he goes, "Yo," he lent me the graphic novels. He's like, "Yo, when you're done, just return them," and that's exactly what I did. But dude, wow, what a story! Amazing story, yo, for real. If anybody has read Why the Last Man, big recommendation.
Okay, all right. Because that's the thing, Brian K. Vaughan, his books are how can I say, when I look at some of the titles he's written, because he's written so many of them, you feel a bit intimidated. Like I felt like that when I read Saga, The Runaways. But once you're in, you're in. Like there's a reason why people read this stuff, read his work. Yeah, I mean, The Pride of Baghdad was another fantastic story. Holy shit, I couldn't believe what I read. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, but it was just mind-blowing, man. But yeah, definitely, I'm definitely intrigued because I might have to read at least read the first graphic novel before I jump into
anything. Why the Last Man?
I know what it is. I don't really know a lot, but I know based on the cover and everything else. Yeah, it sounds like I'm missing out, and that's what I like. I like to you see, it comes out September, so I have plenty of time to actually just read at least one trade.
Why? You know why? You're gonna read the whole run. That's what's gonna happen, Dodgy, because you're gonna go so deep into it.
Yeah.
And again, Brian K. Vaughan is one of those writers that he has an ending and a beginning to his stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see that. I love it, and it's going to start Diane Lane as well. So we're going to get a heavyweight Hollywood actress in the role. So so we're gonna. I don't know. There's not a lot of names thrown out there. Not a lot of names of directors either. So it's still kind of like up in the air. But you know, what's intriguing though is that this is a Vertigo DC book, right?
Yes.
But it's been made by Disney. That's kind of intriguing.
Yeah, well, Vertigo line, you know, they may treat it a little bit different than the traditional, you know, line itself, you know, that we know of superheroes. So maybe that's.
Please don't give the CW. God no.
Yeah, no, please, God no. Yeah,
God no. Yeah. No. And we move on to the next slide because I've got the value courtesy of Key Collector. As you can see there, high $200.
Bro, on the
2002.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it's not bad for 20 beans. That's probably you know, raw.
Yeah.
You know, I would do that. I would absolutely pay that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, indeed.
Oh, he's an AEW. I didn't know this news.
Yeah. So this was launched earlier in the week.
Remember Sexual Chocolate, bro?
Yeah, I remember Sexual Chocolate with Mae Young. Yeah, I remember those days.
Hell, yo, we saw her titties, bro. That's it fell to her knees when they came out. Yeah. Oh my god, what a horror! That's when WWE was like a horror show.
Yeah, that was the Attitude Era, man. Like anything was down.
Yeah, but dude, who wanted to see Mae Young's titties, bro? Come on.
Oh no. No, I'm good. But no, I'm really happy to see him moving on, you know, moving up. So he's going to be more of a management slash you know, personality.
A protagonist, no doubt, though. You know, he's going to be a protagonist. He's going to be somebody starting shit. He's going to get his moment in the light. He's still a young. How old is he? Do you know? He's still
I think he'd be nearing his 50s. Because I mean, if you think about it, he participated in the 96 Olympics, or I think he qualified. I'm not sure if he actually participated, but if you think about it, he might have been in his early 20s back then. He'd be pushing mid to late 40s. But I mean, in saying that though, John Cena's in his mid 40s, and he's doing but it's difference of body scale. I mean, if you think about it from a powerlifter perspective, it's very hard to remain lean. But I hope he gets his weight down a bit, and then he can you just want our wrestlers to stay healthy and live long. Because that's the shitty thing about the fucking sport, man. It breaks my fucking heart to see, the wrestlers that we knew, and you look at like old pay-per-views, and there's only like 20% of the wrestlers still alive. That's fucked, man.
Yeah.
That's so messed up, bro. I think there's one pay-per-view when there's only one or two still living. Hey!
Yeah, this.
So this was a big one, man. Big one, because this was focused on a character that, we were talking last week about comparing Ric Flair to Hulk Hogan, in terms of wrestling skills. And you guys kind of, I kind of had to be on the defense here about how good of a wrestler Ric Flair was. But in saying that, though, when you compare him to, say, the Ultimate Warrior, it's like chalk and cheese, because the Ultimate Warrior, which was shown in this episode, is that he didn't like to wrestle. He actually didn't like to learn.
We saw that when we were kids. This motherfucker would run into the ring like an animal, beat somebody down in 2 minutes. He was the Mike Tyson of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a Mike Tyson of wrestling. And, like, I love the energy. Like, him running out to that music was just like, I want to watch this.
I was a fan. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit that he wasn't the greatest wrestler. It's just the energy, and I love energy.
Yeah.
So he's going in there beating ass.
But his opponent. But you think about you as an opponent, right? Who's a more established wrestler, and you had to drop to this guy. I'd be pretty mad if I was like,
I know.
Just getting thrown around like what he did to the Honky Tonk Man. And I mean, the Honky Tonk Man is almost an example.
I love that shit.
But the Honky Tonk Man was fucking fantastic at what he did.
I hated that motherfucker.
I think everyone did, but the way he did it was just enjoyable. I loved it, man.
I met him, Dodgy. I met him in Massachusetts.
Really?
At a convention. He looked great. I mean, he was one of the only ones that looked great. Yeah, he had the suit and the sideburns. Honky Tonk, man. So
that's good. That's good. Like, I don't like when I've been to conventions where you meet the wrestler or you meet the celebrity, and they look nothing like their character, and you're like, oh, okay.
No. I've met him. I've met the Iron Sheik, and he was in character. I met Nick Volkoff before he passed.
But can I just say, Iron Sheik is never out of character. Put it that way. He's never out of character.
He is. Yeah. But this was a great episode. I mean, I didn't realize, what ego he had. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, son.
Yeah, because WWE brought out a documentary in the early 2000s called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, when the Ultimate Warrior was still alive. And the WWE just bashed him, man, like, seriously. But they had all the big names like Edge, Hulk Hogan, and all his opponents, and they were just smashing the Ultimate Warrior. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, like, it was very uncharacteristic of WWE doco.
Yeah, that Jake the Snake shit when he's talking about, I had a roller coaster, smack him over the head, son, and it's like he disarmed me by just apologizing like a man. And that's, I mean, did he know he was gonna die? Here he is, Hall of Fame ceremony. He's apologizing and making amends with everybody. Does a presentation on Raw the next day, and that night he passes. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was such a shock, an absolute shock. Because I actually watched that episode when he came out. Like, that was amazing.
I saw that too. That fucking Raw.
Yeah, that was
I felt bad, yo. That broke my heart. Oh shit! And he looked. I mean, you know what? In watching Dark Side of the Ring, you do realize he does look tired. But when you watch, I saw an in shape man, doing his thing. You know what I mean? Sucks the heart, man. Right?
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
Damn that.
Yeah,
rest in peace, man. To Ultimate Warrior, for real.
Cheers,
in peace. Thank you for the entertainment, homie. But yo, you were crazy, but he made amends. That's great about that.
He did. He didn't die with the mysteries not answered, or the questions not answered. So yeah, definitely.
But he realized that he fucked up and made up for it, as best he could.
100%.
That takes a real man to do that, yo. To say, yo, I was wrong. Please forgive me.
Yeah, no doubt. And we all knew he was wrong, but I think he was the only one who really didn't accept that. And there's an image of the late great warrior.
It doesn't have Hulk Hogan on it, but these are like much more defined. Jesus Christ,
much more defined. Yeah, right? He was an actual bodybuilder. I think Hogan was just a wrestler who formed strength, but he was actually a bodybuilder first.
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder. Hogan's more of a weightlifter.
Yeah, true.
Definitely. He looked great, man. No, nothing on man, but he looked great back then, and definitely was an inspiration. He did that comic book. Now I want that comic.
Exactly right.
Doesn't it look like by Rob Liefeld? Didn't it look like it was by Rob? One of the covers.
Which one?
Like the second cover they had shown in the documentary, it looked like it was made by Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, it kind of looked that way, didn't it? It was more or less. It was just a 90s vision. So I don't think he could afford Rob at the time. No way. No way. Anyways, moving on. We've got, as you can see here, everything's Archie. So Archie is 80. Can you believe that, man? Like Superman's hit that mark, Batman's hit that mark, and now we've got Archie. So
wait, before you go, I just want to say this. What's crazy to me, you see Archie is 80 years old, and yet the label is still considered indie.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? An 80-year-old
crazy, yeah.
What? I mean, at one point, Archie was outselling the big two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, when I first got into comics, because my brother was a bit younger, so he was buying the Archie books, but I was like reading the Archie books too, like just offside. Like I'd be enjoying my, my Spider-Man, my X-Force, and Ghost Rider, and then I jump into an Archie and just having a good old laugh. Like, oh man, like
slice of
Stan
life.
Goldberg, Stan Goldberg, like it actually broke my heart when I heard that he passed because. The fond memories, man, of just reading those Archie books back in the day were just like, oh my god, they were so good. Like, it was great to be taken away from an action superhero title to an actual one just about, kind of like this show, about nothing, just about everyday life, and just the slapstick humor and the way that Stan Goldberg drew the characters, just couldn't help but love it, man. And here we go. Here's another image. So the one we saw before was by Dan Parent. I don't know who the artist is of this one, but yeah.
I've met Dan Parent, man. What a cool dude, yo.
He is. Yeah, I met him as well. I actually met him and Ty Templeton, and they're both pretty solid. Yeah. I just kind of wish I got a sketch of Dan, like probably my regret. I love this cover, man. Like, look at that.
Gorgeous.
With all the other chibi characters on his shoulders and in his pocket. That's pretty cool. But apparently,
well
done, 100%. It's a manga version. So this one is actually just a one shot of 80th anniversary. Finally, Archie declares his true love, and it's a very expensive guitar. Bro, you have Betty and Veronica. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Seriously, man. Like, Archie, come on, bro.
Just invited both of them into the sack at the same time, do the test, so never miss. No, only playing. I'm sorry. Send hate mail to Dodgy 80 in the mix.
Yeah, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. But yeah, definitely worth a check out. And this is available next week at your local comic book store. So, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Gorgeous covers.
Yeah, very, very, very nice covers, man.
So fucking classic, bro. I love it. He really,
that's what I want. Dan Parent's cover, man. Like, I love what they're doing with Archie, making him more modern, but I kind of miss the the Archie in-house style. I miss that. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, making him more modern and more realistic. But I miss the you can only get them in the digest now, which just kind of sucks. But I just miss the in-house style.
That's cool, the CW. Do you like Riverdale?
Riverdale, I love the first season, but second one, I was like, bro, when they started killing off mainstream characters, I was kind of like, nah, I'm sorry.
But what did you think about Archie fucking the teacher? Boning her.
Especially, what's her name? Mrs. Gumble. Like, holy shit, Mrs. Gumble. Have you seen her in the OG comics? Like,
she's an old lady, but here they, hey,
they made her look hot. Yeah, Mrs. Gumble. I was like, bro, I've had like years and years and years of my vision of Mrs. Gumble. She looked nothing like that. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
God. But I do like it. And here we go. We got the Sweet Tooth Compendium. So
don't ask me. I just started the show. I only got like maybe 20 minutes in before I was disturbed, but my family had to get off work because they wanted to watch The Conjuring.
Oh, really? Conjure, I'm sure no one enticed you or forced you to watch that instead.
No, it's not a force. I'm a horror fan, and they did. Yeah. I was laughing, because again, folks, if you're gonna watch The Conjuring, please have a good sound system. Put that shit on blast. Your family will be jumping and just watch and enjoy. Yeah, I was just laughing. My wife did like getting startled because there was those,
you touch her leg and
yeah. Hysterical. I mean, then I wound up passing out because I was tired and I only got to see
that. So this Sweet Tooth Compendium, which is also available next week at New Comic Book Day, it collects issues 1 to 40, so that's a pretty decent size.
It is.
So I'm not sure how big it's going to be, but definitely worth a check out, especially if you're into. I have not actually, to be honest.
Take a look at just the intro. Kind of fucks you up. You're like, what's going on? Like, wow, it's like humans are a hybrid with animals, and the because you see them as babies, so the graphics of it, seeing different looking hybrid humans with a different mix of different animals is pretty cool. They did a great job. Good on them.
Definitely.
Oh, I gotta get this. What is it?
Yeah, so I was doing a bit of research, a little bit of reading about this. So, obviously it's a biopic of Stan Lee, written by Abraham Reisman, but it's actually a little bit honest. And by saying that, there's that Stan Lee was dogged by accusations from key collaborators such as Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko over who really created Marvel's signature characters. So it actually delves into that. We know the story. I remember watching a British journalist who was a massive Steve Ditko fan, and he interviewed Stan Lee, asked him who created Spider-Man, and Stan said, I did.
Of course he did. He was hot for the attention. He's the marketing man. Again, though, he was. I would say he's a collaborator in the creation, but to say that you are just a sole creator, that's nonsense. You better stop.
Yeah, so definitely that's kind of like a little bit that annoys me a little bit because we know who because I mean the thing about it, right? You come up with the concept in your brain, but then someone puts an image to it. That image is what people remember most.
Of course.
Not the concept. The concept is a concept.
But not for nothing. Again, we know this of Stan. I mean, I saw it on video when he did that video with Rob Liefeld, the drawing videos from back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
When he said, right, Rob, we created this together, right? We created it, right, Rob? And then Rob was like, yes, Stan, this is our creation. He kind of had to emphasize that. So we already knew, like, if he was in the room, he would, thank God he wasn't in the room when I thought of Comic Crusaders. He would have said he owned that shit too.
I know, right? Yeah, 100%. But I mean, just like Steve Jobs, he's a good spokesperson. He can really sell. Like he can sell ice to Eskimos. You know what I mean? Like he can really make it so appealing that people would want to buy it.
master marketer.
Yeah, and that's his overall legacy is that he's like a cartoon character come to life. I remember watching the Incredible Hulk animated series and just hearing him just introduce the story, and I'm like, oh, that guy just sounds amazing, and he created all these characters. His legacy will live on for good as well as the bad. But look, I won't take anything away from his legacy.
I will never take anything away from Stan. I grew up, hearing his voice.
Same.
It was,
yeah.
and just the creations that he was involved with. I'm not going to say he's creator, but the creations he was involved with. I mean, he was somebody that was our geek rep. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And cool. And look, even going into his old age, this was like the dude you wanted to chill with because your homie was
right?
What a rep,
Yeah.
What a great representative for just the fandom.
100%.
And I don't think we're ever going to get that again. There's no one that right now has that level of energy to stand it in, marketing and pushing.
Okay, I'll bet the differ on that. I think Todd McFarlane is probably the nearest that we have.
Well, he's stuck. Wait. Stan was marketing his whole brand that had an extended universe of characters, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Where Todd is just pushing his spawn, and he got his toys, whatever. I'm not taking anything away from Todd. I mean, he's great. I love Todd. You know me, I'm a number one Spawn fan. I've had the privilege of talking to Todd several times. The honor of speaking to this man, and he's blessed me with entrepreneurial knowledge. More so than a lot of people are willing to do. But I'm saying that just Stan was just a spokesman for overall. You know what I mean? Just because I guess of the length of time he's been in the industry and navigating not just Marvel, but he tried multiple different ventures, whether it's cartoons, you know what I mean, and books and other things. He even went into India, Indian-based characters overseas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Stan was somebody that was involved with the creation of a multitude of characters.
Speaking of a multitude of characters, we've got a creator coming on real soon who's got an array of characters, and we're pretty excited to have him on shortly. Definitely.
You know what? I know the homies is hanging out in the background looking cool. I think we should just start doing this, brother. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Let's do it, kiddo.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so we've got Carlos Raphael, who's got a new Kickstarter project, which is running really, really well at the moment. The new Remarkables #1. Carlos, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Carlos, how are you, brother? Thank you for coming on to the Wepa show.
Thank you. So you're Puerto Rican now?
Olvídate. I'm 100% Puerto Rican from Isabela, Puerto Rico. Born there, but raised in New York. The other borough of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican too. So.
Oh, well,
wow, that's great.
Yep,
what type of family are you from?
In Caguas.
Caguas, beautiful. Check this out. I love it. Dodgy, you keep finding me fellow Puerto Rican creators. Thank you. This is so awesome.
I can't help it, man. It's like an Australian Puerto Rican connection.
Yeah, but I love it, man. No, it's very important to me, Carlos, to see mi gente doing their thing. You know what I mean? Because we're so talented and we don't get the recognition. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
right now, America, it's very funny right now, and the emphasis is only on two colors. You know what I mean? Let's get real. And they forget about us. We're here too, and we have a very large presence. So don't ignore us because we're important.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But with that, yo, you got a Kickstarter, Papo. We got to start talking about that, yo, because I heard it's a remarkable.
It is. Expect the remarkable in this one. So it's doing very well. I'm really blown away. This is my 6th one. And the previous 5, those things pretty much came down to the last few days. And very few where we've had stretch goals. We have, but a lot of those stretch goals came down to the last few days. This one, we're less than 200 away from stretch goal number 1, and we've been live for just about 36 minutes over 2 days.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing, man. That's incredible.
Carlos, right there. That tú sabes.
So yeah, and I've been blown away by the reception. Just 2 days into it, and we've already heading into stretch goal territory. So it's
amazing. I gotta ask you, Papo, what's going on here with the Remarkable? You said this is your 6th time doing a book. I mean, talk about your journey here. I mean, why comics? Why did you choose this? How did the Remarkables come into mind? What are your other projects about? I mean, tell us this journey of yours. When did it all start?
Oh, I'm an old man, so it's been it's been a while. But I saw you were talking about Stan earlier. Stan, the man to me, he's just an incredible presence. He's missed. I wanted to be Stan. That's how I really got into comics. My very first comic that I ever got was a comic and a record.
The comic.
I love those.
So the Power record.
I got a Nexus comic here, but with the actual 45 records still in it.
Yes, the 45s. That is how I got started. I was 7. I had just turned 7. So my birthday's on the 23rd of December. On the 25th of December, when I turned 7, my parents got me my very first record player. And so on top of that, they got me the Power Records Incredible Hulk at Bay with Stan. with Stan Lee doing the voiceover for that. So so that is where my that was my very first exposure to comics, was following Stan Lee narrating Hulk at Bay with it was the Abomination, who I love to this day, and Rhino. And so a couple months later after that, I was walking to school and I decided I was going to take my lunch money and buy. There it is.
Hey, nice one.
There it is. So that is my first exposure to comics. And then a few months later, I stopped into a Stop and Go convenience store and decided to spend my lunch money on Incredible Hulk 183. So that was the actual.
Oh my God! Comic. So close to the 181.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed Wolverine by a couple months. So, and I've never actually owned that copy because it's always been really expensive. But I did get, and I have 183 right here and next to me. So I do own the first comic I ever bought. So
me too.
There it is.
There's a kiddo right there.
There it is. So I own that one, and it's right near me. And that started the love right there with 183 Hulk. And then I got into the monster mags at that time. So there was like Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, Man Thing.
Chamber of Chills, you ever got those and whatnot? The horror ones that had the kind of short stories in between.
Yes, yes. Anything that was scary and had monsters at that time, I was into. I wasn't into Spider-Man.
Where are you from? What state did you?
I'm in Washington State right now, in Seattle.
Was that where you were raised?
So I've been here for about 5 years. Before then, I was in Florida. I was in Tampa.
Okay. I'm in Orlando right now.
Are you Orlando? Yeah, that's my flagship character, American Revere, who is the leader of the New Remarkables, he made his debut at MegaCon in Orlando. So
I'm in there this year. Are you?
I'm not. I'm not. I'm the Comic Cons I'm doing this year are Rose City Comic Con in Portland, and Grit City in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay.
Next year, I'm hoping to do the one in New York. I got an invite to do that one. My brother lives in New York, so there's my excuse to make the New York Comic Con.
Exactly. You know, hey, Papa, you visit family. You don't got to spend money in a hotel.
Exactly. That's my thing. I can hang out with my brother, and then we can ride into the city and hang out at the show.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Bro, that's great, kid. Oh, that's awesome. So, whereabouts is your family in New York?
In Poughkeepsie.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I'm a Brooklyn boy.
Yeah, my brother's significant other is his family is from there, so they go into the city all the time to visit family.
There you go. So let's talk about the book right now, kiddo, because the book looks fantastic. Remarkables. What is Remarkables? I mean, and how did you even get into all the Kickstarters too? I mean, what's that journey?
Okay, so as I had said, I got into comic books. Then in the 80s is when my brother and I started making comic books. So we would draw them, and then we had a friend of ours. My mom was a hairdresser, so she was in the know with everybody. So she had a friend. She had a friend who owned a souvenir store, and they had a Xerox machine. So she would let us go in and Xerox at a cheaper rate than other people would. And so we would make comic books, Xerox them, staple them together with and just hand them out to kids in the neighborhood. And so it's like we had our little mini publishing thing going on, and the kids would come and ask us when the next one would be coming out. And so we would sit there and do these.
Were they free or you were making some paper?
They were free. No, we would just give them. We would give them for free, and then.
I wonder who had a copy left. Do you have any of those copies left when you?
No,
started?
my mom threw them all away. So they were.
Puerto Rican moms do.
Puerto Rican moms do that, and so
yes,
they were in a bag in a bag in our closet. And at some point, Puerto Rican moms get that itch to clean, and everything goes.
Yeah. It's a bad itch. People, your house has not been cleaned until a Puerto Rican mom cleans that shit.
Exactly.
What happened to my stuff?
It's going to exactly like, Mom, where's my stuff? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, that rubbish.
I used to see motherfuckers with toys that are like, yo, they have the same scars as mine. Where'd you get that? Oh, I found it in the garbage. I mean, what the fuck you mean you found it in the garbage?
Exactly.
Where? That garbage is mine, bro. I used to get so mad.
If it wasn't locked down or glued down, it was gonna go at one point. So
she threw out my whole 84, 85, 86 Top Sets comics.
Oh.
I mean, baseball cards.
Yeah, the cards. I had the cards.
Yo, that's Don Mattingly, Strawberry. Good.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, she threw them out. One day I wanted to put them in a box when I finally bought one. I'm like, where are my cards at? Esa porquería.
Yeah. My cards got thrown out. My comics. I had to put them in a place where it's like, don't come near here.
Yo, this is a part of the house. Come on, are you serious? Don't touch it.
And if I made the mistake of putting it in the closet and I forgot to tell her, then just like that bag of comics. So, they were all gone.
Australian brother here, Dodgy. Was your mom like that? Did she throw out your collectibles? Australian mom?
No, she's the total opposite, because she's like, I spent money on this. I'm going to save it all. But some of it she'll just give away. So she gave away like the massive T-Rex from Dino Riders. I could probably sell it for like $1,000, and that was just given away.
Given away?
That probably hurts more than throwing it away.
Bro.
I was like, I want to get it back.
You see your homie playing with that shit. That's not even right.
So Carlos, I've got a question for you. So, with your book, with the Remarkables #1, it appears that some of the characters are indie comics from other creators. Is that correct?
It's not.
It's not
Those
correct?
are all my characters. Now, the original Remarkables. That's why it's called the New Remarkables, because there was an original Remarkables. A buddy of mine, Antravius Williams, he put the original Remarkables together with indie characters from all the different indie-verse. So different creators. So I don't know if you're aware of William Satterwhite's Stealth, Dorothy's Jean's Spirit's Destiny. There was Mega Woman was in there, My American Revere, and his Yellow Prime. So the only thing that ever came out from the Remarkables was they made a 2-page appearance in the art of ICC. ICC is a forum, a comic book creators forum on Facebook, and so John Jones, an artist, he made an art of ICC book, and they appeared in there in their original form. But that was it, because we spent 2 years trying to iron out a script, and we could never come up with a consensus for a script for the Remarkables. So it would start going. One of the creators would write a script, and then we would pass it around, and then somebody would be like, nah, this doesn't really float my boat. And so that kind of went until it fizzled out. And then Antravius went on to do other things. So I put my last Kickstarter together, and the last two I've put in what I call mini EPs, which they're not mini comics, but they're in page count. They're only 12 pages. And I put them as add-ons. Well, in both cases, they sold better than the actual main comic that was in the Kickstarter. And there were team books. So people, people like team, but they want team books. So I decided I was going to put a team book together. Couldn't come up with a name, and then I remembered the Remarkables. So I went to Antravius and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with the Remarkables?" And he said, "Nothing." So I said, "Will you sell it to me? Sell me the name and essentially the everything that revolves around it." And he's like, "Okay." So I'm like, "Great." So he sold me the rights to it, and then at this point, I just started putting it together. I didn't want to have outside creators characters in it, because of the experience I already had with the original Remarkables. So I just took all my characters that I had that were the ones that got the most reaction over the years or had made appearances in previous comics of mine. And so that's how they came together. So essentially, my big guns, quote unquote, are who are in the Remarkables. But we do have. I did link it. So Antravius does have his character in #1. So that's kind of like a full circle thing. Is that I promised him that I would have his character in the book. And so that happened, and I do have some buy-in tiers, which is already sold out. So that one's gone now. But the buy-in tier will have a pay. It's a 1-page spread where they're looking at viable prospects and on a big screen. and these other creators' characters will be there, but of course they bought into that through this Kickstarter. So it will have characters from outside my champion universe, but
Yeah.
the main characters in the New Remarkables are mine, just so it makes it easier for me to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the American Revere. Where did that character's idea come from?
That started out back in the 80s. Originally, I called him Mr. USA, and he was basically my cloning Stan Lee. That was me pretending to be the Puerto Rican Stan Lee. And so the character kind of evolved. I made him, I drew him at that time in the comics we had discussed earlier. Then in college, I hooked up with Jason Metcalf. He's a well-known artist. And we started doing books. We had a few hit and misses as far as getting our books published. We ended up with an ash can and a card set. And then we graduated from college together and went our separate ways. So about 10 years, I didn't do anything. I got married. I had kids, did the family thing, no comic creation. Then I ended up getting divorced, got remarried in Florida, and to wife number 2. And she's the one that said, "Hey, you should do comics," because she used to see all the old comics and stuff that I had, and she was like, "You should do something." Well, I'm like, okay, if she's telling me to do it, then okay, I'm gonna do that. So I had
that's such a sweet story, man.
Yeah, so I had a book that I had a lot of sketches and a lot of ideas, my idea book, and American Revere happened to be the first one there. So I was like,
yeah,
all right, let me work on this. So I started to work on it, went on digital webbing, found an artist named Mac Radwanski that is the original American Revere artist. And that was it. We started to work on it. This was in 2009. In 2011, I came out with the American Revere Comic Con special. So that was when it appeared at MegaCon 2011. And then in 2013 is when I came out with American Revere Zero, the comic book proper. So now American Revere #1 is out. That came out a couple months ago. And I have followed it up with New Remarkables. So since he is a natural leader in his own book, he is the leader in he is the chosen leader in the New Remarkables.
Okay.
Beautiful, man. It sounds so much like a Joan Lee to Stan Lee type of moment then when you said that. She said, why not create a comic? That is so nice, man.
Yeah, that's we're not together anymore, but at least I owe her that. She's the one that got me in that going in the right direction.
Yeah, so you're telling me you're on wife number 3 now, number 4?
Yeah, number 3.
Number 3, big pimping Carlo over here. Check it out.
Yeah, we go back from junior high. So
wow.
Yeah. So once wife number 2 left, we started dating, and that's where we are now. So
she's a comic book
10 years now, and she's just as supportive, if not more so. And so she's my biggest fan, and that's great to have.
Oh, absolutely agreed, man. Bless up to your lady, man, for giving you that love and show of support, man. I mean, that's really weird. Everybody does that. Some partners feel a little bit, funny about stuff like that, especially, as a creator, where you're giving so much time to your projects, you may not have as much time for them while you're in it.
Oh, yeah. It's very important to strike that balance with family and comics. But my motto, everybody who works with me knows my motto is family before comics. So if family has demands, they come first, the comics come second. But at the same time, my mom was the one that lent me the money to get the print run going for the first American Revere. She was with me. Beautiful. She was with me at that con in MegaCon in Orlando when when American Revere the Comic Con special debuted. So, but she was really there for William Shatner. That was her
priority.
He was playing you, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Poppy, I got you. I'm gonna get you a new daddy right now.
Yeah, that was her big. That was her big crush when she was a young lady,
lovely.
and so he was the main guest of honor with Stan Lee. At
That
that
was supposed to be your stepfather. Holy shit! Apparently, right?
Yeah, my dad. He was a Star Trek fan.
Okay.
So yeah, that was. She got her picture taken with him and an autograph. So she was on Dream Street with William Shatner, and then I was there pushing my book.
Beautiful. So, so these are all your titles that are on screen right now.
Yes. So the American Revere #1, that is the one that we just released. Torvald and Tyrannus and Team Supremus. Those are the 2 mini EPs that I told you about that did really well. We're still waiting for those to get back from the printer. So hopefully they'll get that straight. They were supposed to be out last month, but the printer keeps mixing up because we have a lot of variant covers with these 2.
Yes.
And so they keep messing up the variant covers and losing things. So last I heard, they had finally got it figured out, and I'm supposed to get those because I'm still waiting to put them up on the store. American Revere #1 is available on Indie Planet, so it's up on the store for purchase. And as soon as we get those in, the middle 2, so that I can actually get them out to backers, then I can put them both up on the store. And then the last one is one that I am currently in production with. It's almost done. We're down to the last couple pages, and then Hell Machine will be ready to go.
I like that name, Hell Machine.
Yeah, I like the actual art. It looks amazing.
And the art in it is really great. Sergio Martinez is the regular artist. The artist Federico Mata is the guy who is the artist who did the prequel section of it, the prologue. And it's just, the art is fantastic. I can't wait to get that out. Like I said, we're down to the last few pages before it's done. Since that wasn't part of any Kickstarter, as soon as it's done, we'll be putting it up on the store so people can purchase it.
And let me ask you, the only place to get them is at your shop, or are you willing to work with comic shops and have some physical copies available, at their stores?
So I am right now. The New Remarkables is going to be the first comic of mine that's going to be in Diamond. So, so that one will be the first one. That's where I'm going to break the pop the cherry.
Don't breathe.
With that. So once I've got my toe in the water with Diamond with New Remarkables, then my hope is to continue and get American Revere in there. I have American Revere one shot that the artist just turned in the last page. So once that's done, we'll have American Revere one shot available. We'll have the Hell Machine available, as well as the other 2 that you saw there. So we'll have like 4 comics that are going to be available at once. Yeah. And then, so once we've tested the waters with New Remarkables with Diamond, then I will look to get the other 4 in as well. And the only reason I say that is because Diamond requires you to have a certain amount of money to cover orders ahead of time. So, so I want to make sure that I don't want to go crazy, throw them all out there. And if for some reason, just like this New Remarkables Kickstarter is surprising me, if it surprises with strong orders, I got to have the money available to pay them for the shipping and stuff, because because Diamond don't pay for 3 months after, 2 or 3 months after catalog. So you got to have that available. So, but yes, I definitely want them in stores. Until then, it'll be Indie Planet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
when you're ready for the stores, I need you to contact us. I'm gonna connect you with our retail officer, Mr. Lucas Fushina. He's one of my partners, but also the host of It's Drunken Chat, where they talk about comic speculation and a whole bunch of new creations. Because Comic Crusaders will be having a comic book shop. So
Nice.
if we could help you, sell some copies, man, and get that change in your pocket, let's make it happen, Papa.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for the next chain of supply. So, we'll keep in touch.
Please
Yeah,
do.
100%.
My homie would love
Can
to.
I ask you though, with your next book, so if number 2, would that be through Kickstarter to begin with, or is that going straight through to Diamond?
That's going to go straight to Diamond because we've already the success.
Nice.
We're already with the success we've had in the first 48 hours.
Amazing,
we've got number 1 and number 2 covered now. So at this point, everything we make is going to be it's gravy. It's to continue so that we don't have to do a Kickstarter until maybe number 3. So number 2, we're at the point now where number 2's Kickstarter will be skipped. We've made enough to where we can produce 1 and 2 comfortably. And then once that's done, then we'll probably go with a Kickstarter for 3. And then if that Kickstarter does well, then that should cover number 4, and then that'll encompass the first trade. And then, of course, the trade's going straight to Diamond.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
There you go, man. I'm really proud of you as a fellow Boricua, bro, that you're doing your thing and and making a presence known already in Diamond and getting your books out there. It makes me feel really proud.
Thank you.
That's a lot of people,
man.
because I don't use that white word with ending in X. That they made that up for us, and I hate that. But we're Latinos.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking. One of my dreams since I was a little kid was to do Puerto Rico Comic Con, man, and that's because when you're in Puerto Rico, it wasn't comics wasn't popular. I had to go take the bus and go through store after store in Caguas or Bayamon, where my other family is from. Is that Puerto Rico Comic Con?
Exclusives. I have an exclusive Puerto Rico Comic Con Red Sun Superman.
Wow, that is awesome. And I love Red Sun.
Yeah, but me too. And not just that, but Puerto Rico Comic Con, the guy that runs that, he has a brand called Geek Rican. And he blessed me with this.
That is nice to carry around to the Comic Con.
No, you don't understand, bro. This has pockets galore for your phone, for your badge. This is a separate bag that you could carry over the shoulder. You could carry up to 10 CGC comic books in this one.
Nice.
Fill up this book bag with up to 4 Funkos. If you buy Funkos, for example, you're not crushing them. It's padded. And what's cool is nobody's going to rob you because the only way to open the bag is from the back, not from the front.
Funko is right down the street from me. Their headquarters is right down the street. And so I plan on getting a hold of them. I actually applied to Funko and they didn't hire me. So I was like, for a while there, I was like, screw Funko. They didn't hire me. And I lived right across the street from their headquarters. So I was like, it's not like I would miss work or have an excuse. I could just walk right across the street right to their headquarters.
Yeah, but I got a better idea for you. Why don't you make your characters into Funko figures?
I am going
That's the plan.
Funko is doing customs now. So my plan is to go to Funko, since again, they're literally right down the street from me, the headquarters, and have Funkos of American Revere and the Remarkables done.
Dodgy, we need to make an Omega Dodgy 2-pack of the year now.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, so yeah, that's I'm always looking for that Puerto Rico Comic Con. I'm gonna do that. Puerto Rico is very.
okay, brother? Because the owner, the showrunner sent me that bag, and I interviewed him not too long ago. So if you need any assist, just to open communication, as a fellow body, I'm here for you, brother.
I will be hitting you up because that's something that I need to have. So maybe next year, make that trip and
Yeah,
be
I
able to
want to
visit
make it too.
family.
I want
Yeah.
to make it too, bro. For real. It
Yeah,
means
so
a
we
lot.
could hook up down there.
I would love that because I'm so happy to know that people from my island, are big fans. Because I know, within my family, not everybody is a big fan. My brothers are, of course, but when we talk about people on the island, where I got the majority of my cousins, I think there's maybe only one of them that loves the fandom. Everybody else is like, that's kiss shit. You know how Puerto Ricans are over
That's
there.
how it was. That's because
I
comics
think
were
a lot of
never
countries
big. Like I said, I used to have to take the bus and go into Bayamon, into Caguas, and go everywhere just to find a couple comics. Because the ones that they had there were the ones that were Mexican comics that
the rounded edges, right?
yeah, and the ones that were pulp made with the weird pulp paper and
you know who I remember in Puerto Rico when I remember the comics I read. What was his name? The little fat short dude with the big eyes.
yeah, that's the one I'm trying to remember.
Oh my
And
God, what was his name? You're killing me. Right?
oh no, what is that guy's name?
Dodgy, you need to help us here. It was a Latino comic book. Yeah, I'm gonna ask an Australian to help me about a Latino comic book, right?
I know, right? How dare we?
Comic, Spanish.
My brother would know, but
So,
I'm gonna have to text him and see if he's because my brother would know.
yeah, because those are real funny. I mean, Dodgy, growing up, this was not meant for me to read as a kid. I'll be honest with that. They were very adultist, hysterical, but there were still comics of this character, Spanish character. His name starts with a C, but it's not Cantinflas. It's not.
Mm-mm.
I forgot his name, but he was so funny. Again, this is my first exposure again to comics. I got my Kickstarter Crystal Warrior. Then I got exposed to Spanish comics. Then I got exposed to horror comics because the Grand Book Center in Brooklyn. And after that, it was Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up. Over time, I realized that first appearance of White Rabbit and Frogman. That was one of my favorite comics growing up, and I had that.
Yeah, that Kickstarter, I bought that off the rack. The
Yo, you got
Kickstarter number one.
Yo, bro.
Kickstarter number one.
Number 2 was my first comic ever, and I still
Was
have
it?
it.
Wow.
And then I went to Queens, and I found a shop called Royal Collectibles, and they had the whole run for $5. How could I say no?
What year was that? Because I got it in the first time. So 88, that came out in 1983.
Yeah, I bought it off the rack when I was going to Puerto Rico. My mother was trying to shut me up, on a trip on Eastern Airlines. If you remember that airline.
Yeah, Eastern. Yeah, that's where I would take Eastern or Continental. They're no longer here.
Airlines go to Puerto Rico, so she shut me up. She said, "Pick any comic," and I love how that comic cover looked. And after that, my fascination. My mom was buying me Conan comics, bro. The Savage Sword of Conan, Titty, and now the guy's out. She didn't know what she was buying me.
Those mags that were made for adults. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a hell of a collection, bro. So what else can we expect from the world? From you, bro. From the Raphael verse.
All right. So like I said, we have the American Revere one shot coming out. We have Team Supremus. Those kind of like they're linked. So reading issue number 1 of American Revere and Team Supremus will pretty much take you right into the new Remarkables. Because what it's about, the president's a bad guy. And I just did a podcast right before this one, and he's like, I didn't vote for Trump. And it's like, well, it's a Trumpish like character, but to tell you the truth, it has nothing to do with Trump. This guy I created back in issue number 0, which came out in 2013. So this is way before Trump was even anything.
Man.
So the president's a bad guy. He's got powers. He has the power of persuasion. That's how he came into he was elected. He controls the minds and hearts of the people, but he does it nefariously, along with his right-hand man, the Necromage, who's a sorcerer. But their power is starting to fade. Their hold on American people and the world is starting to, they're losing that grip. They think it's a supra. In my world, people with superpowers are called supras. So this supra. So supra, they think there's a super out there that's causing them to lose their grip, to weakening their hold. So American Revere, who originally was the great world hope and was a beacon, they turn against him and incarcerate him.
Superman in theory, or your Captain America, if you will.
He's not Captain America.
Okay.
He's my Captain America. My Superman / Shazam would be Max Champion, who's in the Remarkables. He's and that's a lot of the dynamic. The reason I chose each specific character. They're there not just because I randomly. They're there for a reason. There's a lot of different. Because my goal for this is to treat it like a soap opera. My inspiration is the Justice League from the late 80s. That was written by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis.
Yes.
And with art by Kevin Maguire and Adam Hughes. And so that had a really soap opera type feel to it, light and dark. And that's kind of like my inspiration for this. So everybody there is there for a reason. And American Revere is like the Captain America. Max Champion is like Superman. Torvald is like Thor, so forth and so on. Volta is like Wonder Woman. But it's really more of my nod to Justice League than it is Avengers. But yeah, so I bring them together. They're all there for a reason. They're a lot of them have broken out. So in Team Supremus, a lot of the supers break out of the Supermax. The president has put them all, has put supers incarcerated and depowered them and put them in a Supermax prison. And in Team Supremus, American Revere and many others get sprung. Not going to go too much into that because I want people to read it and
definitely.
Buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Buy it, and when it's available on Indie Planet, and so New Remarkables takes place not too long afterwards, where there's some government insiders not associated with the president who. So what happens in the book, and you saw that in the preview and in the Kickstarter, is that the children of Ra, and in particular Pyre, show up in the North Pole, and they are threatening to melt the polar caps and cause global devastation if they're not given some Mills technology called COAS. This Mills technology, they think, will be able to locate the super that is negating the power of the president and the Necromage, because they don't want to lose the next election. So they are desperate to find out who is behind this. And so there's these Agent Asia Marley, Percy Mills, the creator of Mills Technology and COAS, and the Secretary General of the United Nations get together and put the New Remarkable. So they go through a file of characters and then and put them together to combat not just the Children of Ra. So they're going to be global, but they're also going to take on street level. And you'll rarely see them in their full 10. The intent was to have 10 full-time members, but you're rarely going to see that. Only in times when they're needed will you see all 10. Right. Otherwise, it's just going to be in little bite-sized vignettes of 3 and 4 characters doing what they need to do to bring liberty and justice for all.
That's how you build a team, brother. That's how exactly how you do it. So with that, just let our viewers know right now, where they got to go. Where can they follow you and keep up with the whole universe, brother?
Absolutely. So on Instagram, it's Champion Comics Group. On Twitter, it's Carlos F. Raphael. On Facebook, it's Writer Carlos Raphael. So Writer Carlos Raphael. And then you can also find me on Facebook under facebook.com/Champion Comics Group and facebook.com/ The Remarkables Comic. So no new, just The Remarkables Comic. Ooh. And then lastly, online, we are currently under construction because I just bought it, but www.championcomicsgroup.com, .com, championcomicsgroup.com you'll be able to get all the recent news and be able to purchase comics when that website is completed and up and running.
That's awesome. That's what we do. So Carlos, I want to thank you personally
thank you so much
for your creations, your work. Thank you for what you do, keeping us entertained, bro. Keep doing what you do. You have our support 110%, and just thank you for spending some time with us to let us know what this whole universe is about. The Raphael.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure being on your show, getting to talk to a fellow Boricua, and a little tidbit here. I almost moved to Australia to do my post college for international studies. I canceled the last moment because my twins, my first wife got pregnant with my twins. My twin daughters. Yeah, I got twin daughters. 24 now, 23. Wow. Sorry, girls. But they were born in 97, and then in 98 I was getting ready to go to Wollongong University.
I know where that is.
In near Sydney, but since they were born, I was like, no, because it was going to be a 1.5-year program, and it's like I couldn't be away from my kids when they were just born for that amount of time. So I ended up selling the ticket to my best friend who went there to study film. So all was not lost in there. But Australia, and I hope to make it there one day. So
100%.
Now at least I know someone I could stay with. I'm inviting myself. I'm inviting myself.
Share some interest. That's awesome.
There you go. So Carlos, thank you again, bro. Much love, many blessings, bro.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so
your
much.
endeavor, bro.
You guys take care.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
That was awesome, bro. I didn't know he was Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Inspires
I didn't know he was Puerto Rican either. I just thought he was just another creator that I would just have jump on our show. So we're running really far behind time, so we'll just move on to the next segment now.
Oh, it's the Ultraverse. Wait a minute. Wait.
Ultraverse.
The Ultraverse.
All right. So this book that we were going to mention today or talk about today is Prototype Number 1.
Great book, man. I actually read it. So reminds me, it's so Iron Man-ish, but Exo-ish as well.
But,
I mean, so many different
but the story behind it, which I really liked. It's not really your typical superhero story. And so if you just hit up the slide, bro, we're going to dive into the book now. It's not showing.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. There you go. Shit. Dodgy, what are you doing to me, bro?
No idea. Anyway, so it's a story with the character's name is Jimmy Ruiz. He was surgically implanted the cybernetics to allow him to control the prototype armor. Yeah. So you can see the image there on the left-hand side, the left panel, the top left-hand panel. So that's actually prototype number. That's the first prototype, which was Bob Campbell. And actually, I really liked the issue number 0 because that really emphasized on Bob's journey as being the first prototype. And there we see he loses his arm, and that's when he's basically made redundant.
Yeah, so but does it look like a Hulkbuster suit in that one?
It does. Yeah, it really does. And this is before Hulkbuster. So
exactly.
Yeah, so it's actually a really good segue to the new version of prototype. So that's the first prototype. Loses his arm. Bob is basically replaced, and there he is dealing with losing his arm. And as you can see, Ultratech put on a like a band, probably so he can clip things on there, which will lead into seeing his arm. Yeah, he's got a So he's not like. Because upon reading number 0, I thought that Bob was just left with one arm, but he's actually got a cybernetic hand, which you can clip onto that metal piece on his arm, which means he can still live the normal everyday life. And then you see he's just dealing with the loss, no longer being the prototype, no longer being a superhero, which he really, really enjoyed being.
Because of his so-called handicap.
Yeah, and here we see his arch nemesis, who's kind of was emphasized in issue number 0, but here he is in his first appearance. This is Glare. I mean, he's an awesome-looking character. He actually looks pretty dope. He actually reminds me a little bit of Terra Inc. from Marvel. If you look at his
the cross of Terra Inc. with a little bit of Gladiator Hulk.
Yeah, or a bit of Abomination as well, but. Glare? Is that really a name that would just stand out and go, oh shit?
I'm so scared.
When I hear the name Glare, I'm thinking of someone wearing like
I'm gonna wear shades.
Glare. But he shows himself as being a pretty amazing villain. Like, look at him go. Like he's just like
you know what? Savage Dragon too.
Yeah, a bit of Savage Dragon. And I think Savage Dragon was just released a year before this, so there is some
like a Megaton, right?
Yeah, definitely. But he looks like a pretty solid villain, And we move on to the next slide here. So he takes out the cops, and here he is holding up. Glare is coming.
Right.
No, please don't.
It's Glare.
Don't blind me with your shiny lights, Glare. So, as I said, the name questionable, but it looks pretty good. Yeah, and here we go. There's the Leyland that has pronounced his name. Leyland. He's like in charge of Ultratech. Leland. And now he wants the second prototype, which is Jimmy Ruiz. So
Ruiz.
So we've got a
roll your R, Dodgy. Do me a favor. Wait a minute. Before we move on, I need you to roll your R. Ruiz. There you go. That's what we Puerto Ricans are known for. Where Papa got to say, but we walk on our R's, ladies. Yeah, you know what I mean.
All right. So we just move on to the next slide. So here we go. See a bit of talk, of Leland's plans with introducing the new prototype to defeat the villainous Glare.
Glare. Sorry, that sounds
like here he is. So in action, like he's springing out. Kind of has that Bob Layton type feel to this design, don't you think? Like just the actual the way he just jumps out of the page.
Bro, this action figure based on a Wildstorm character looks just like him. Oh, wait a minute. Let me put myself up there. Hold on. You see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
suit, right? Right? You see that right now.
Hmm.
Hold on. Let me move myself. You tell me. Oh, that shit look exactly like him, just all black.
Yeah, you could just paint that, right?
Yeah. And it'll be fucking prototype.
Yeah. But see, Prototype is kind of like if you were to introduce a character into the MCU, he could actually fit in pretty easily because he's just a costume. He's not a you know what I mean? They could just introduce him as a costume,
Yep.
you know. I
Yes,
don't
they
know, maybe to team up with Iron Man or something. But
that's
yeah,
what, and for me, this is what this kind of reminds me of. This very Iron Man-ish, if you will.
mm,
Obviously,
yeah, exactly.
the
And here
suits.
he is, and all the fans know who he is, and like just in awe in his presence. And then
But
he's
this
going
was
to be
a
taking
great era of
on.
comics, Dodgy. This was a great era with this Malibu. This is what I'm so upset that Marvel doesn't use this. It's like I was bitching
Exactly.
about Milestone for a minute for DC. Thank God this month we start, we're getting news. We're gonna get a new Milestone, we get a new Static Shock book. Like, why is Marvel using this stuff? The Malibu verse, the Ultraverse. What's wrong with
I
them?
know they made excuses saying they can't really get the back catalog into the to the MCU. Or
I
not
want to see it
like,
in MCU. I want to see comic books.
yeah, you don't have to do the back catalog to get these characters out, like to show their origin story. Their origins already happened. It's like trying to retell the origin of Spider-Man over and over again. Like it's just don't need to, man. Don't need
And
to.
yeah, this is definitely, you could tell it's from their era because it's very wordy.
Yeah. No, but wordy is good. It means that there's
it is.
stories. It's not
Yeah.
just a dumb.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right? If you look at the Image when Image first came out, we had artists being writers, and the words are very, very blocky. Very, or how can I say blocky? It's like there's no reason to have words because they can't. The artist couldn't really write. That's a problem. But here we've got an actual writer writing, and then the artist jumping on board with the writer. So it's a difference. And here we go.
Read.
Yeah, but this is it. Like you can see that you can tell that Prototype is actually a flawed character. He's actually some young kid in a costume whose mind has been manipulated by this technology, the Ultra Tech technology. And you can tell he's like struggling with the with his persona. He's going to go out in public and show himself off, and now he's going to be in a situation he's going to have to fight Glare. Just move to the next slide.
Before we move on, right? Carlos is in the background, right? And Carlos just mentions this. And he says that with the original co-creators, Marvel bought it, but co-creators want higher royalty rates from Marvel than what they want to pay. So at the end of the day, as normal, the characters suffer because of monetary issues between the creator and the publisher.
Yeah, that sucks.
But hopefully one day, listen, if DC worked it out with Milestone, I could see a potential for Marvel working it out with Malibu.
Yeah. Or even just get the original creators to come in and, create the story.
Give us a little tease. Yeah. I mean, the Marvel universe is a vast universe of different worlds similar to DC, so why not do that?
Yeah, exactly.
The Malibu verse. Let's do it, kiddo. I mean, a beautiful art for the time, maybe 90s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you can see, this is like a year after, we looked at The Strangers, Prime. You can see that the lettering is a lot better in this. They don't have like the purple letters that they had and the green letters. Like that was just horrible to look at. It actually looked really bad. Here, there's an improvement. It's basically, that off yellow. So it just makes it very simple to read. And look at the panels, man. The panels here are gorgeous.
Yes, they are.
It's like the zoom in of his mouth and shit. Like that's pretty good. Like
you can smell this MF's breath right there.
I know, right?
Hopefully, I don't know what you're smelling, but geez, I'm about to gag.
I know, right? And here we go. There we see Prototype taking on Glare, and And his word is yeah.
Oh man, he should have ended it with nah. And
I know,
that's it.
right? You didn't say nah, but
Dodgy as prototype,
yeah,
right here, folks.
exactly. Yeah. And you're right, it's very wordy, but it actually was needed. You know, it just creates more of a sustained story rather than just be a fight, you know?
Yeah, absolutely right. Though we need that. I mean, now I don't like picking up a book. Right now, you're investing at
Yeah.
minimum. Listen, I know that Todd keeps trying to hold the line at $2.99, $3 a book. But still, how much verbiage do you get out of a Spawn book? You know what I mean? And then you have publishers like Marvel and DC that are pushing the line at a $6.99, $7.99, $8.99 rate, and you don't get half the verbiage that this book has in a modern world. Facts.
Yeah.
That's why I love independent creators like Carlos. Create stories. You're buying something, you're not gonna read it in 5 minutes. There's no way you can do
No,
that.
definitely not. Yeah. You gotta be a universe builder as well as a writer, you know.
Kachoom. I mean, I give credit to the level.
Did he sneeze at prototype and then all this glare just came out?
Either that or he farted through his mouth. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't want to be the recipient of that.
Yeah, but he also reminds me of Maverick from X-Force stories. Remember X-Men?
Yeah. Or the Jim Lee X-Men.
Yeah. Look at that. Prototype killed the Hulk with a mohawk.
Yeah, and here we go. And then now Prototype is like, is he a killer? That's a persona from the public. Yeah. So imagine if social media was around back in the day. And here we go. We've got some little tidbits of the new stories that are coming out with Mantra, Rune. Is it Freaks? Yeah.
Strangers that we covered.
Yeah.
What does that say? Ape Diane? Are they calling her a gorilla? That's messed up, man. Look, man, Gerard Jones was part of this too at that time.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Lester Zuski, look at that. David Niven, Steve Englehart. Wow,
yeah.
Crazy, bro. Look at this.
I know, right? It's amazing how
you guys are fans of these legends. I mean, you better be reading some Ultraverse shit.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Back then, they were just considered just writers. Nowadays, we look back and we see these names and we're like, oh, okay. It's like watching an old movie with Oscar-winning actors. You're just watching it going, okay, this is actually pretty solid.
It is, bro. But bro, we went overtime today, but it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
We talked about nothing and everything yet again. Coño. Yeah. Why do we do that, bro? We're like condesas del bochinche. Aquí llegó papá, el Dodgy de bochinche. I gotta find that song and remix it for you, Dodgy.
Yeah, please do. I'm gonna bring my shakers.
But you know how we do. This is every Saturday night at 8 p.m. EST. 17 shows in a row. 17 weeks.
17 weeks,
bro. We haven't stopped, kiddo. Hold up. That deserves that. Only Wepa!
Yeah,
let's do it, kiddo. This is the fun stuff. Dodgy, you rule. I appreciate you like always, bro. It's been fun. Carlos was an amazing guest to have on today. I love what he's doing. And folks, check out that Dark Side of the Ring with Ultimate Warrior. You were a fan, you need to check that out. And then next week, I wish we could have talked about it today, but Dodgy hasn't watched it. That Jake the Snake one was fucked up.
I can imagine. I've seen the documentary with him and DDP and how DDP saved his life. Like that really was a gut cruncher.
Oh, but this really got history, and you get into his dad, Grizzly. I mean, like I didn't know that Rockin' Robin was his sister.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, bro. Please watch this Dark Side of the Ring. if you're a wrestling fan, it will blow your effing mind. You're like, yo, it touches you. It's like, wow. And I could understand that, as a Puerto Rican male, where a dad doesn't say, I'm proud of you, because they don't understand what the fuck you do. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And he mentions how his father never told him that. His father would say that shit to other people.
Yeah, but not to him.
But not to him. I mean, isn't that hurtful?
Yeah, that's really, really bad, man.
Yeah, man. Like, not that I want my parents' acceptance, but it's always nice to have it.
yeah, that's absolutely true.
Not that I want it, but it's nice to have it and hear those kind words, man. It's just a sense of fulfillment. So, if you're a parent out there, just look at your kids, man. Let them know that you're proud of them and that you love them every single day, man. It's very important. Something they're gonna need when they grow up and when they reflect, man. When their most down moment, they're gonna know that they had a true believer in their life and always try to push forward. Trust me on that. All right. So with that, Archie, thank you again, bro. You're my homie, my brother from another mother, all the way in Oz. Wepa! You know how we do, kiddo. So folks,
exactly.
I need you guys to check out ComicCrusaders.com, UndercoverCapes.com. I need to also check out the Google Play Store, because now we have the Comic Crusaders app. Yeah, kiddo. You get all the favorite Comic Crusaders information all in one place. You get all the news from our website, all our YouTube stuff, all our podcasts. And coming soon, you'll be able to order comic books, physical comic books, not just digital.
That's awesome, man.
That's to Lucas Rashina, the retail officer. He's building a Shopify shop that's going to be linked into our app. So when you guys need books, that's what I'm saying. If you guys happen to be publishers, creators that need an avenue to sell your books, please reach out to us and I'll connect you with Lucas, our retail officer. So that way we could also show your books off on our platform and make sure that you guys could also navigate, because again, you guys are creative. You guys are just as big as the big two to me. So why not go forward? Feel me?
We feel it.
Awesome, guys. So anything else we got to cover, Dodgy?
We're all set, bro. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week.
Hasta la próxima. Para que tú sepas, Al Mega on the one only Dodgy. Woo!
The mix. Mixing it up.